I want to welcome everyone to our Saturday morning live presentation. We're going to be looking at the Microbiome Research Live Webinar that we'll actually be doing live this coming Tuesday, April the 18th at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So you're actually seeing it for the first time. And as we go through this live presentation, I would ask you to do a couple things. One, certainly pay attention. Secondly, let me know your feedback at the end of the presentation. Is it too long? Is there too much material? Again, there's so much information in this area of the microbiome. It's hard to be able to sometimes say, okay, what do we need to cut out? What do we need to have? So as you go through the presentation, understand the objective of what this presentation is all about. It's designed for you to invite people within your organization who are already part of your Synergy family, as well as to invite prospective people who might want to go on the Microbiome Purify Kit to be able to apply the information that we're going to share today. And it's also designed to help you attract business builders so that they can see that if they join Synergy Worldwide and join your organization, we have in place marketing tools and strategies that will help them gain their customer base, what we like to call acquire customers, as well as attract other business builders to join them, because there's a systematic approach in place that they can harness and leverage to be able to grow their customer base, which creates cash flow for them, as well as grow their distributor base, which helps create residual income. So the presentation I have here is, again, designed to be able to educate people who come to this to say, I have those issues. I want to apply this information because I am sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And it all resides in my gut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everyone. I'm going to go through the presentation. At the end of the presentation, then I'll unmute everyone. So let me first take the time to mute. Thank you for attending our live microbiome research webinar. The goal of our presentation is to inform and empower you to apply natural ways to reset your gut health. Why? Because when you learn how to reset your gut health, you will feel better, look better, and people around you are going to notice and ask you what you're doing. That's how significant this can be. Additionally, emerging science is clearly showing that most of the lifestyle diseases you and your loved ones face today are influenced by your gut health. Some would even say caused by your gut microbiome. Now, before we define what the microbiome is and how it affects your health, let's see if you have any of the following health issues: diabetes, heartburn, fibromyalgia, cardiovascular disease, rheumatoid arthritis, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, inflammation, cancer, weight management, and obesity issues. I could keep going since most of the diseases facing us today have a direct link back to your microbiome. So let's start by helping you understand what this is and why your microbiome is key to good health. According to Merriam-Webster, your microbiome is, quote, a community of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and viruses that inhabit a particular environment, and especially the collection of microorganisms living in and on the human body. Your body is home to about 100 trillion bacteria and other microbes collectively known as your microbiome. Whether you believe in evolution or creation, there is a symbiotic relationship between microbial and human cells, a symbiotic relationship that either leads to good health or poor health. In fact, when you look in the mirror, what you see is your human expression of your human cells. However, if you had the eyes of a powerful microscope, you would see a world of microbial cells that outnumber your human cells by a factor of 10. This has led researchers in the area of the microbiome to use the phrase, you are only 10% human. This means that 10% of your cells contain human DNA. The remaining 90% of your cells are some combination of bacteria, fungi, and microflora. On and in your body, there are 4 major microbial communities: oral, skin, vaginal, and fecal abdominal. And when added together, this represents 100 trillion microscopic organisms. To help you better understand this, let's talk about genes, which are the building blocks of life. Genes carry the genetic instructions that shape and form every living thing. There are 22,000 genes in the entire human genome. There are 3.3 million genes just in the human gut microbiome. Why is this important? The makeup of your microbiome significantly, if not entirely, impacts your health and wellness to the point where every major disease and illness today has a link back to your microbiome, even to your body composition of being lean or fat. People blame their human genes for being overweight, and because of this, they felt powerless to change their physical appearance. But science in the area of the microbiome, especially looking at your gut microbial communities, clearly shows that this plays a far greater role in determining whether you are lean or fat. This means that if you change your internal gut microbiome, you can significantly improve your ability to process food so that you use food for energy instead of storing it as fat. Humans are about 99.9% identical to one another as it relates to their human genes. However, they could be 80 to 90% different from one another in terms of their microbiome. A great example of this is in the area of weight management and obesity issues. More and more research is showing that this is not a human genetic issue, but rather a microbiome issue. The most famous study in this area is the one done on identical twins. Each set of twins had the same genetic makeup. However, one twin was overweight and the other twin was lean. Their human microbiome was injected into the gut flora of host mice so that the microbiome of the mice took on the nature of the human twin. Each recipient mice was given the same diet and daily activities. The results were that the host mice with the microbiome from the lean human twin stayed lean, and the host mice from the microbiome from the overweight human twin gained weight and stored fat. And what was even more interesting was the makeup of the microbial communities between the two twins. For the overweight twin, the microbial community was dominated by Firmicutes, whereas the microbial community of the lean twin was dominated by Bacteroidetes. Most studies now show that the higher your Bacteroidetes compared to your Firmicutes, the leaner you will be. There are a couple of triggers that increase Firmicutes over Bacteroidetes. Trigger number one, high intake of omega-6 fatty acids from vegetable oils. Most processed foods use some form of vegetable oil for shelf stability. The problem is these types of omega-6 oils trigger inflammation, which favors Firmicutes. Trigger two, animal protein creates less diversity in the microbial community, which then allows the Firmicutes to dominate. Trigger three, sugar and processed carbohydrates like wheat are fuel for Firmicutes, which allows them to dominate your abdominal microbiome. And trigger four is stress. Stress triggers the release of adrenal hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which lowers the Bacteroidetes in your abdominal cavity. Several studies have shown how the standard American diet of sugary drinks, highly processed foods, high sugar consumption, and animal protein sources are causing children to develop microbial communities that are higher in Firmicutes. This leads to weight gain in children and the onset of type 2 diabetes. This also explains why some people have an extremely hard time losing weight. What was once thought to be a slow metabolism and poor human genes is no longer the case. Instead, their microbial community and how it processes foods plays a greater role. Change the gut, and you change the outcome. We want to give you a recipe or roadmap for restoring your gut health so that you can live a vibrant life. We call it the 3 E's and the 4 R's for gut health. And it all starts with the 3 E's. Eliminate dysbiosis, eliminate leaky gut, eliminate inflammation. It's these 3 conditions that you have to address. And if you address them properly, then you'll experience a tremendous shift in your overall health. The first one is eliminate dysbiosis. What this term means is that the delicate microbial communities have become disrupted and imbalanced, which can lead to poor health. And one of the major causes of dysbiosis is the use of antibiotics and pharmaceutical drugs. As the National Institute of Health points out in their article, Antibiotics and the Human Gut Microbiome, Dysbiosis and Accumulation of Resistances, the human microbiome has been overly exposed to antibiotics from both the medical community and food industry. This overexposure has both short-term and long-term health consequences, especially as it impacts your immune system, resulting in inflammation and autoimmune diseases, metabolic pathways resulting in metabolic disorders and obesity issues, resistance to harmful pathogens resulting in increased potential for disease and illness, resistance to bacterial infections resulting in abdominal distress, and developing antibiotic resistances, which lowers the effectiveness of medications. The alternative is to learn how to recolonize your gut flora through the use of natural nutrients, prebiotics, and probiotics, as well as choosing foods that support good bacteria instead of supporting bad bacteria, what we like to call the 4 R's, which we'll discuss shortly. When properly applied, the results are amazing. Here's a short list. Supports cellular integrity and function of the intestinal lining to reduce leaky gut and the potential for toxins to enter the bloodstream. Aids in gut metabolism and microbiome balance for improved energy. Activates detoxification signaling to help rid your body of toxins that cause inflammation. Supports the elimination of heavy metals and how they can compromise your health. Supports the digestive system to reduce abdominal distress. Provides sustained energy and prolonged nutrient absorption to eliminate hunger and cravings. And balances gut bacteria through healthy elimination. This list of benefits is just the opposite of the health concerns highlighted by the National Institute of Health on the use of antibiotics. And it all centers on how your microbiome reduces and controls the production of toxins and the resulting inflammation. As bad bacteria overwhelm good bacteria, the result is an overproduction of toxins in the abdominal cavity. There are several factors that cause this dysbiosis of your microbiome. They are, but not limited to, your diet, antibiotics and medications, oral contraceptives, alcohol, obsession with cleanliness, diet low in fermented foods, and stress. As your gut microbiome is overpopulated with bacteria that produce toxins, the following sequence begins to happen. Toxins are produced that cause inflammation of the gut. Not only can this cause abdominal distress, but it leads to a condition called leaky gut, which we'll talk about in more detail. Toxins then enter the bloodstream, either by attaching themselves to fat molecules or entering due to a leaky gut. These toxins create inflammation throughout the body. Inflammation can lead to metabolic dysfunction. Metabolic dysfunction leads to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance leads to fat deposition, and fat deposition leads to cardiometabolic dysfunction. Plus, these toxins that enter your bloodstream can have tremendous impact on key tissue and organ systems, especially your muscle tissues, your fat storage, liver function, and cognitive impairment. The key to solving the toxin issue is to recolonize your gut microbiome to those microbial communities that support good health. This means fix the gut, you fix the problem. And one big problem for most people is having a leaky gut. While the medical community does not recognize this as a major contributing factor to all sorts of health issues, there is a growing body of science showing how a leaky gut, or what is called intestinal permeability, is wreaking havoc on people's health. This health concern is not new. In fact, Hippocrates recognized it when he stated, "All disease begins in the gut." Ideally, your intestine is designed to be a very selective barrier to everything you consume. It does this by creating what are known as tight junctions. As you see in the image created by Dr. Vincent Pedre for Happy Gut, these tight junctions are loosened so that undigested food particles, toxins, and pathogens can enter your bloodstream. The result is an immediate activation of your immune system, causing inflammation and food sensitivities. While not everyone has this, we created a checklist in our microbiome ebook that will help you understand your increased probability for this issue. At the end of our presentation, we'll share with you how you can get your free copy of this ebook. In it, there are 2 columns, triggers and symptoms. Let's just look at symptoms. The more you check off, the more likely you are to have some level of leaky gut. So do you have bloating, food allergies, food sensitivities, headaches, joint pain, low energy and/or fatigue, thyroid conditions, digestive issues, weight gain, mood issues, skin issues? While most people think they eat good food, let's identify 3 common foods and how they contribute to a leaky gut. The first one is lectins. Lectins are sugar-binding proteins used by plants as a natural defense mechanism to protect them from mold and parasites. And while they protect plants, they damage your intestinal lining. The reason why is your digestive lining is covered with sugar-containing cells that help break down your food. These lectins will attach themselves to your digestive lining, causing inflammation that ends up damaging your gut. And while there are a wide variety of foods that contain lectins, these 4 will have the greatest impact: wheat, legumes, especially kidney beans, peanuts, and soy. Dairy protein. Conventional cow's milk contains the protein A1 casein, which is harmful to your gut. This is especially true if you're drinking pasteurized milk, which destroys vital enzymes that are needed to help you digest sugars like lactose. The best alternative to dairy is to replace it with almond milk, preferably 30 calories without any sugar added. Sugar, outside of wheat, is the #1 contributor to poor digestive health. And the reason why is that sugar feeds yeast, candida, and bad bacteria, all of which can create toxins that damage the lining of your intestine, as well as eat holes in your intestinal wall, leading to leaky gut. And the greater the dysbiosis of your abdominal cavity, the greater your potential for a leaky gut. So how do you correct these 3 A's, which are eliminate dysbiosis, eliminate inflammation, and eliminate leaky gut? Well, you do it by applying the 4 R's for gut health, which are remove foods and factors that damage your gut, replace with healing foods, repair with specific supplements, and rebalance with prebiotics and probiotics. Let's start with the first R, which is remove foods and factors that damage your gut. As they say, you are what you eat. And if you make choices that damage your microbiome, you will suffer the consequences. Now, we acknowledge that change is difficult, but understand this. When you change your microbiome to a healthier environment, you will find it much easier to make good food choices. Why? Because it's your microbiome that's driving your food choices. If you desire sugary drinks and processed snack foods, it's because the microbiome of your gut is influencing your choices and what they want to eat. You fix the gut, you fix the problem. Here are our recommendations in order of importance. First, eliminate all wheat products from your diet. This will immediately help you eliminate inflammation and dysbiosis. Reduce your sugar consumption. This will help you address inflammation and dysbiosis and reduce toxins that are contributing to leaky gut. Dramatically reduce your intake of vegetable oils. This will address inflammation and leaky gut. Most processed foods use vegetable oils, and if you're cooking with them, stop. Instead, use omega-3 oils like extra virgin olive oil. Limit your consumption of animal protein. This will address dysbiosis. Limit your alcohol consumption. This will help address dysbiosis. Only use an antibiotic when necessary. This will help address dysbiosis. Only take medications when necessary. This will help address dysbiosis. Stop using oral contraceptives. Now, for women, this may be a challenge, but tell the guy it's time for him to start using a condom so that you can enjoy vibrant health and sex. Reduce your stress level. This will address all 3 E's as it lowers inflammation, removes the potential for dysbiosis, and helps to prevent leaky gut. And the last one is get your needed sleep. This will address dysbiosis. Now, the next step in this process is to replace with healing foods. As you remove foods that are harmful to your microbiome, replace them with foods that will quickly recolonize your microbiome with healthy and beneficial bacteria. Here are our suggestions. Water. Increase your water consumption by adding liquid chlorophyll. Add 1 tablespoon of liquid chlorophyll per 16 ounces of water. This will address inflammation. Unsweetened almond milk. Again, replace your milk, especially if it's dairy milk, with almond milk. This will address dysbiosis and inflammation. Some people like coconut milk, but for most people, almond milk is a fairly easy change. Incorporate vegetable protein. This will address dysbiosis and inflammation as well as help heal a leaky gut. And here is a good group to choose from. Pea protein powder, 2% Greek yogurt, lentils, peas, eggs, sunflower butter, spinach, guava fruit, sweet potatoes. Our favorite from this list is pea protein powder. If you make any type of healthy shake or smoothie, then pea protein is the best choice. The most common protein powder is whey protein from cow's milk. However, pea protein is equal to whey, but without any allergens. Here's a direct side-by-side comparison. And it's important to note that pea protein contains 3 times the amount of L-arginine than whey protein. Now, this is significant because L-arginine fuels 7 different metabolic pathways that are important to good health. One of those pathways is what's known as the endothelial pathway for the creation of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the master signaling molecule of your entire cardiovascular system. Nitric oxide improves blood flow and helps protect you from cardiovascular diseases like high blood pressure, strokes, and heart attacks. Again, going back to our list of healing foods, we've got omega-3 fats. Again, substitute your omega-6 fats like vegetable oils with extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil. Avocados are also an excellent source of omega-3 fats. This will address inflammation and help heal a leaky gut. Fermented foods help address dysbiosis as well as reduce inflammation. Greek yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and pickles are all good food choices. Flaxseed powder helps address inflammation and dysbiosis. This can be added to your healthy shake or food to stimulate your body's production of what are called lignans. And vegetables. Whole and unprocessed vegetables help address both dysbiosis and inflammation. So increase your consumption by eating more spinach and broccoli, cauliflower, peas, and raw carrots. However, stay away from corn because of its sugar content. Now, the next R is repair with specific supplements. There are so many supplements in the market that it's easy to get lost in this area. So we're only going to give you just 4, but they are the 4 most important to consume to help you address those 3 E's. The first one is L-glutamine. This is always the first and most important one to add to your diet. It will address inflammation, leaky gut, and dysbiosis. You want to optimize the ability of the cells of your small intestine to function properly, and here's how this amino acid can potentially help you. First off, it improves gastrointestinal health by helping the intestines rebuild and repair. It helps heal ulcers and leaky gut. It improves IBS and diarrhea by balancing mucus production. It improves metabolism and cellular detoxification. It curbs cravings for sugar and alcohol. It improves blood sugar levels. And L-glutamine improves the ratio of good bacteria to bad bacteria to aid in weight management. The next supplement would be magnesium. This mineral addresses inflammation, leaky gut, and dysbiosis. It's required for the function of hundreds of enzymes in the gut to improve immunity, digestion, regularity, and energy production. And as your gut microbiome improves, magnesium aids in the production of healthy chemical compounds that can provide the following overall health benefits. Helps increase energy, calms your nerves, treats insomnia, aids in digestion, relieves muscle aches and pains, regulates calcium and potassium levels, is important to heart health, prevents migraine headaches, and helps prevent osteoporosis. Zinc. This mineral addresses dysbiosis by helping to fuel the enzymatic processes that recolonize your gut microbiome with healthy, beneficial bacteria. It's involved in over 300 different enzymatic pathways to help support overall health. As it relates to your gut, zinc helps to maintain both the population and diversity of good bacteria. And it plays a vital role in protein synthesis while helping to regulate cell production in your immune system. And finally, borage oil. This nutrient addresses inflammation. Inflammation is such a big issue in the gut health that you want to arm your microbiome with the nutrients it needs to address this issue. Now, the next R is rebalance with prebiotics and probiotics. We recommend combining these two together to optimize the recolonization of your gut microbiome. Prebiotics both protect and feed probiotics. Probiotics bring good bacteria that are needed to recolonize your abdominal cavity. And when it comes to probiotic supplements, there is always the debate about live cultures that have to be refrigerated versus shelf-stable cultures. Regardless of which one you choose, they must all pass through the stomach, which presents a problem. Due to the high acidic nature of the stomach, many of the probiotics don't survive the journey to the small intestine. This is one reason why you have to take such a large number of active cultures, say 50 billion CFUs. These CFUs are what are known as colony-forming units. However, by taking your probiotics with food or dark chocolate, you increase the number of CFUs that make it into the small intestine. And the reason why is sugar helps coat them to protect them from the acids of the stomach environment. But sugar also feeds bad bacteria that you're trying to get rid of, which brings us to prebiotics. Prebiotics are non-digestible carbohydrates to you, but can be digested by probiotics. They are usually soluble fibers that aid you in your digestion. When combined with water, they form a gel-like substance that can withstand the acidic environment of the stomach, and when they enter the small intestine, they become a meal for the bacteria you're trying to grow. This means you want prebiotics that will nourish the good bacteria, not the bad bacteria. And if you properly combine a prebiotic with the correct probiotic, you can create a positive synergistic effect. The prebiotic will form a gel-like coating to protect the probiotic through the stomach acids. This helps more CFUs to make it into the small intestine. Once in the small intestine, the prebiotic becomes a healthy food source for the probiotic. This speeds the colonization of your gut microbiome with good bacteria while denying your bad bacteria the food they need. This helps you quickly reset your gut health so that you can enjoy improved wellness. So which are the best ingredients for doing this? We would recommend the following. Inulin is an excellent prebiotic. It is always our first choice. In addition to nourishing the good bacteria, it also assists in the digestion and absorption of your food. Inulin plays a significant role in your immune system, and it seems to improve heart and bone health, reduce the potential for colon cancer, helps protect against inflammatory bowel disease, and aids in constipation. For a probiotic, Bacillus coagulans is our first choice. We know that there are others in this category, but if you want to rapidly recolonize your gut microbiome, this is the one to use. This is a spore-forming probiotic species that can withstand the stomach's acidic environment. So when it enters the intestinal cavity or area, it can colonize faster. In addition to their superior survivability and colonization activities over the common probiotics like Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium, Bacillus coagulans have been shown to help reduce irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, and inflammation associated with both osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Now, we've covered a lot of information. And in our free ebook, we examine how your microbiome addresses health issues like autoimmune diseases, abdominal distress, inflammation and cancer, diabetes, and weight management issues. So before we open up this live presentation to your questions and comments, I'd like to highlight Dr. Alessio Fasano, a world-renowned gastroenterologist who views autoimmune disease as a three-legged stool. And the reason why this approach can be used for all types of diseases affected by the microbiome is because of this aspect of this three-legged stool. The first leg is what is called genetic predisposition, meaning that certain genes, when triggered, will develop certain types of diseases. Leg 2 is the trigger that your immune system sees as a threat, whether that threat is real or not, to send it into action. A good example is how gluten in some people is a trigger for celiac disease, but not in others. And then leg 3 is intestinal permeability, which we've already identified as having a leaky gut. This allows large compounds like proteins to enter your bloodstream where they don't belong, and your immune system immediately targets them because of their location. So using this three-legged stool concept can provide you with a way to naturally address all types of diseases. The first step is to consume natural ingredients that will help address and heal a leaky gut. We've identified several ingredients like L-glutamine, pea protein, magnesium, flaxseed powder, and borage oil. The second step is to combine prebiotics with probiotics to quickly reset your microbiome so that good bacteria can overcolonize the bad bacteria to do two important things. Function 1 is to reduce the number of potential triggers. Function 2 is to reduce the potential to trigger genetic predispositions. While this is not a guarantee to eliminate all disease, it is a viable option to improve your overall health and reduce your risk. And as the University of Washington points out, quote, autoimmune diseases appear to be passed on in families not by DNA inheritance, but by inheriting the family's microbiome, end of quote. As we close this presentation, we want you to know that we're part of the Million Lives Project. Our goal is to help 1 million people or more understand how they could effectively reset their microbiome to significantly improve their gut health while reducing their risk for overall lifestyle diseases. Our goal is also to give people hope in their constant battle to manage their weight. For the first time, we can help people understand that it's not their lack of willpower or poor genes, but rather it's their microbiome that affects the outcome. Fix the gut, and you fix the problem. To help accomplish this goal, we would ask you to do one or more of the following. If you found value in the information we shared, then please invite your family and friends to attend our next live webinar. We host this program on the first and third Tuesdays of every month at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And the person who invited you to tonight's presentation can provide you with more information. Second, if you want to apply microbiome research to help you address your abdominal concerns, then please contact the person who invited you to attend today's presentation. They can help you obtain a free copy of our microbiome research ebook. The microbiome has and is creating a great deal of interest in the general public. With this interest has come a boatload of products, all designed to help in this area, some more effective than others. In May, Synergy Worldwide will be releasing their Microbiome Purify Kit. It is a patented program backed by clinical studies designed to reset your gut microbiome in 7 days. It incorporates many of the ingredients we've highlighted to rapidly improve your gut flora. The results have been amazing for those who have used these supplements and followed their program. Here are the 5 component products. The Biome Shake is certified vegan and gluten-free, which means it's a vegetable protein that fuels the correct microbial communities to help quickly balance your microbiome. It uses pea protein with key prebiotics like inulin to fuel your friendly bacteria. It contains borage oil and flaxseed powder to help address inflammation. Plus, it includes zinc and broccoli powder to help detoxify your digestive system while supporting your immune system. And this Biome Shake can be used both as a meal replacement to aid in weight loss or as a healthy meal that can sustain your energy and eliminate hunger for an extended period of time. Biome DT. This patented pending Biome DT is designed to detoxify, cleanse, and rebalance your microbiome. It includes ingredients to help eliminate heavy metals and other toxins from your system to address inflammation. It includes L-glutamine. This ingredient supports your intestinal cells to address leaky gut issues, and L-glutamine also helps to improve the ratio of Bacteroidetes to Firmicutes to aid in weight management. Other key ingredients include zinc to maintain both population and diversity of good bacteria, and broccoli flowers to produce compounds that address inflammation. Bioactives combines your prebiotic with your probiotic to deliver more CFUs, those colony-forming units, to your small intestine. By using inulin as your prebiotic, you provide both protection and an ideal food source for your probiotic. And Biome Actives also uses Bacillus coagulans because it's a spore-forming probiotic species that is self-stable. This allows you to take it any place you go and not have to worry about refrigeration or spoilage. And as a spore-forming probiotic, it can withstand the stomach's acidic environment so that more CFUs reach the small intestine. This allows for faster colonization of your abdominal cavity. Body Prime is designed to support cleansing and bowel motility to help prime your purification program. It includes magnesium, which is a crucial mineral required for function of hundreds of enzymes in the gut to improve immunity, digestion, regularity, and energy production. And it combines apple pectin with prune protein so that they work synergistically to absorb, bind, and eliminate cholesterol, harmful bacteria, and toxins. Prooxygenate Plus. In addition to resetting your gut health, you also want to address your cardiovascular system. We are firm believers in the power of nitric oxide therapy to improve blood flow. And the best product in the world for harnessing nitric oxide therapy is Prooxygenate Plus. When combined with improvements in your gut health, you will get even greater production of nitric oxide, which is the master signaling molecule of your entire cardiovascular system. Well, that's the end of our slide presentation. And before we open this up, I just want to let you understand that we are passionate about helping others improve their health. It's why we're sharing this information with you. We believe that one of the most important keys to elite health is to reset your gut microbiome. This means that if you change your internal gut microbiome, you can significantly improve your ability to process foods and for energy instead of storing it as fat. You will actually physically reshape yourself while addressing most of the metabolic health issues associated with lifestyle diseases today. So with that said, let's open this up and take any questions that you might have. So let me go and unmute everyone. Okay, you're all unmuted. So I can see by my time that I've got some things that I need to trim on this so that we can get it closer to just 30 minutes. But do I have any comments or suggestions from anyone that is on the call this morning on things that you see that you feel that could be changed or eliminated or whatever suggestions that you have?
Hello, Dan. It's Donald.
Yes, Donald.
Just two things at this time. The two words that you're having problems with, I looked it up, and it's pronounced Microbiome, and that's, you know, just straight up. I know you're having a little bit of issue with that. And the other one is bactericidal.
I agree with you on the first one, Donald. On the second one, I went on YouTube, and they actually have a person who says it, and it's Bacteroidetes, at least on YouTube.
Okay.
So, yes, I know. Those are, just like I had to get dysbiosis into my language, and I've seen that word plenty of times. Yes, getting Firmicutes and Bacteroidetes into my vocabulary are two things that I've been working on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're both in agreement on the Firmicutes, but at least on my YouTube, where I take the word and put it into YouTube, at least what I heard was Bacteroidetes for that one.
Okay.
But I'll look at that again. And yes,
what I did was I looked at it from the Microsoft Word and the thesaurus pronunciation, but I'm sure that you've done a bit more research.
Well, again, one of the nice things about YouTube is that you can pretty much find about anything that you want to. And when I have words like this, I just go to YouTube, and they've got a lady, I don't remember her name, but at least that's the pronunciation that she gave for it. So, but you're right. You know, what's hard is when they're back to back. So until I get these as part of my common language, yeah. So I'll do a better job between now and Tuesday.
The other thing is that I had was, and I think you recognize it. It's I think you're repeating yourself a little bit, and you have found that. So that's all for me.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Donald. Any other comments or suggestions?
Dan?
Yes.
This is Carol. I'm finding that I think that people are going to have to listen to this 2 or 3 times because there's so much technical words. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like there's so much that's not common to people to listen to that I myself probably couldn't understand in one go through.
Okay.
Now, it's just, I mean, we need to do it. We need to have them understand it. But sometimes I find that when they get too deep into the technical words, people just, you know, it's hard to grasp it the first time through. And I found that even today for myself, trying to just understand some of these words that I really wasn't that familiar with. And I don't know how you can, you know, take it out because they need to know the information. but I think it's going to require, at least for me, 2 or 3 reads to understand it.
Sure. Okay. So I need to do some simplification.
Yeah. It just, I mean, I don't know where or how, but that's what, you're good at. But I just couldn't quite get it all. I don't know of anybody else, but I listened to this a couple of times, and I'm still trying to put it all together in my brain.
Sure. Okay.
Hey, Dan.
Yes, Homer.
Are you there?
Was that Homer?
Yeah, this is me. Towards Carol's point, if you send them or you send them the ebook, it goes more into detail, and that will pretty much nail everything home that they don't understand on the webinar. I've learned so much from the ebook. It's just crazy. I'm studying that rascal, and it's incredible. And this is just a shorter version, and I think it has
Okay.
Not quite as technical then.
Well, it just gives more explanation, I believe. More in detail, and that they can read it at their leisure and understand it more in depth.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think this is I know this is a hot topic, and I know people are really interested, and so we want to make sure they get the right information. And maybe it's just me and my brain not assimilating it well, but I'll try that and see.
Dan?
Yes, Tracy.
This is Tracy. Carol, in that regards, for me, the information that Dan puts out is so simple, and it's very detailed, and I love the fact that we can go back and look at all of this. With me, I have to have that simple because of my stroke. I have to do things in a different way that I've had to learn how to do over the years. But I just try to tell people, just grab on. I'm right here with you. I can get the answers. We can work with it together. Do you have any questions? When you have questions, let's bring it up. I think people, when maybe you're trying to have all the information for them at the same time, and that's overwhelming.
Yeah.
If you start at step 1, do the Purify system with our one little sheet that shows us what to take, when to take it, about how many times during the day to take it. Those are very simple steps. And it can be done. And when you're doing it simple steps, one at a time, you see great results quickly. And then it just gets you motivated to go to, the next step or continue to do it for another day. It's only 7 days, but sometimes people get caught up on day 2, 3 and want to fall off and go back to what they have done that has caused them the results they have now.
Yeah.
But if you can do it step by step, it's very easy. And I love this, Dan. It's just remarkable. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I don't discount what is there today because we all need to learn that. And maybe it's just because I've had so much chemotherapy and so on that I have to really concentrate maybe harder than others. So I don't know if that's part of it.
Yeah, I understand that because when you have brain cells in your brain that have been, dead, and then this wakes them up. I'm telling you, This product wakes your brain cells up that have been dormant, because I'm tasting things that I haven't tasted in years since my stroke.
Right.
So it wakes up your whole system.
Right.
Tracy and
Yes.
Carol, in agreeing with you that Dan makes this stuff so simple, what I would suggest is you arm yourself with Synergy's, the microbiome. You can download it from the blog, pages 6.
I got it. I have it.
Yeah, pages 6 through 12 explains exactly how to take these supplements. So you're not fighting yourself with having to explain anything. It's all spelled out there.
Yeah, and that's what I love about our products, Dan doing the extra stuff, and Synergy having everything laid out. I think people sometimes just read into it too much and just don't want to and just have a hard time following what is simple.
Right.
All right, thank you. Anyone else have any comments or suggestions? Last opportunity. I do appreciate this. I don't take offense by the comments and suggestions. Again, understand the purpose of this presentation. It's not to educate people in a doctorate program. It's designed to be able to effectively help people want to change their microbiome. So certainly as I go through this, I look at this as this is my first presentation. This is taking a rough draft down to what it is now, which still needs some work on it, which is basically continue to simplify this process of giving this information.
Hey, Dan.
Yes, Homer.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe if you're, when we're doing a meeting, to have a copy of the ebook with us. That way, if there are any questions, well, what exactly is it? Then you can use that as a resource to go back and say, Bob, this is it, and show them, and then if they want more information, then you can, take their, send it to them. But I think it's a great job overall. I mean, this is just incredible in my eyes. I appreciate it.
So I have a question for everyone. In the presentation, instead of going through the 5 different products that Synergy has, because that added a good 5 minutes to the presentation, maybe breaking to the Q&A time after I let people know that Synergy is releasing this product, or once it's been released that Synergy has this product, and if people have questions about this product, we'll address them during the Q&A time.
Dan?
Yes.
I think we have to decide what our goal is with this presentation, in order to answer some of these questions, because if it's just to educate, then, the specific products probably are not that important. If it is to get sales in our distributors' hands, then I think it's necessary to talk about the products and even have maybe some type of call to action so that the distributors have a path to run on, so they know what their next step is too.
So Judy, I'm going to come back with a question to you, and then I'll give you a thought. So the question back to you, Judy, is what do you feel the purpose of this presentation should be?
Well, I think education is important, but I also know that without sales, our distributors are not going to succeed. And if this is going to help with sales, then I think that the education piece is utmost. I don't know that answer because this is all new to us, and just like proarginine was new several years ago, nobody even knew about it, couldn't even pronounce it, for goodness sakes. You know, this is also very uncomfortable. I don't know if this is more of a distributor education or if this is, you know, an end user education. I don't have those answers. I just am raising the question.
So here's my thought that I'll share with you and everyone. I know one of the things that Shane is going to talk about, unless he decides to change this, is that one of the business models that they're going to show at the convention in May 12th and 13th is how women can put together home parties around the Purify Kit. So my thought would be to use this webinar as a way for people to plan their parties around the webinar so that they don't have to try and do a presentation. What they need to do is understand how to invite people on a Tuesday night to come to their home, 7:45. We start promptly at 8. We have a 25-minute presentation, how people understand how their microbiome is so important to their gut health. We then maybe take a Q&A time, and then, you know, before the Q&A time, we introduce a product line that's there, Synergy Worldwide, take some Q&A, have people share their testimonials and what's happened, and then take maybe 5 minutes to go through each component piece with a call to action. Now, that's the kind of thinking that you know I'm seeing here as a way to harness what Shane's going to share with people, and what I see as what you just talked about. This is a lot more complicated than what, say, hey, just take a scoop of this powder, mix it in with water, and drink it. You know, there's a little bit more to this program than just taking a glass of ProArginine Plus. So being able to give the kind of support necessary that people can organize, and then we would also record this presentation at, you know, one of these live presentations so that they would be online, that if you can't make Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, then you can always do it at other times, and you have this information in place that you can play at any time. But that's kind of the way that I see effectively harnessing this as an educational piece, as well as using it to provide the Q&A time. And the Q&A time is really where I see most things happen. You know, when people start asking questions and you give them answers and people are sharing what's happened to them when they reset their microbiome, now it's like, okay, how do I get this stuff type thing. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And I'm certainly going to start talking to some people that I know, because most of the women that I know will not sit down for 25 minutes for technical stuff. You know, they like to see the big picture. But I'm definitely going to take, you know, this webinar and start showing it to people to see, you know, in the community that I'm in, because, you know, the women that I talk to and network with are not into detail at all. So it will be very interesting to get input from them. But
I really like
so they're so looking forward to the products and be able to balance their gut health. So, you know, it'll be interesting.
Okay.
I really like that, Dan. I really like what you've just said, because I'm with Judy. I feel like this is more of a distributor information. I need to know this so that if I do get a question, I can answer it. But I really like what you just said about the way we can present it, you know, to a little party, because a lot of people that I talk to is like Judy. They don't want to know all the fine details. Just, you know, show me how it works. So, but I really like what you just said about the home parties. I think that's a great idea.
All right. Anyone else with any thoughts before we say goodbye?
Hi, Dan.
Yes.
Noel Evora here.
Hi, Noel.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I like the presentation. One thing I wanted to add is, you know, yes, they say usually knowledge is power. So education is good, but people has to take action.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of a webinar, usually there's always an offer. So I think it should be there, the product from Synergy Worldwide.
Okay.
And maybe on that education part, make it less hard to understand, or so people don't start sleeping because there's too much technical words. Mm-hmm. But I think it should end with the Purify Kit and the product from Synergy as an offer. Otherwise, people get education, but they don't take action.
Right.
So this was my comment.
Great. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else with any comments or suggestions?
This is Gene Mark.
Hey, Gene.
How are you?
Good.
I don't have no comment, but everybody on the line, like the brother just said, I've been this past 3 weeks, I got a lot of action. First thing, you have to learn in the system by yourself and to use the product, and the product, it is sell themselves. Because our job is to change people's life. If you're learning how to change your life well, I think it's very, very easy for you to help somebody else. Thank you anyway.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else before we say goodbye? All right, well, I thank everyone for your feedback. You'll see some changes come this Tuesday. I see I got another comment here in the chat box. I don't know why I didn't see it. Let me see what that is. Okay, thank you. Anyways, thank you, Homer. So I will be making some changes. And again, this coming Wednesday, you'll see some changes made. Understand that we'll continue to evaluate what we're doing, because the whole goal of what we're doing on the first and third Wednesdays of every month, starting in May, is to be able to educate people to the point where they want to be a part of the Microbiome Purify Kit. So the ultimate success of this program and what we're doing is sales. So Judy asked, what's the goal? The goal is to get people as clients and get people to join us in the business, because they can see that we have these tools in place that are going to help them grow their customer and distributor base, and they don't have to do it. It's already been done for them. All they have to do is learn how to leverage the tools and the resources. So as we continue to share this live webinar, we'll always want to be looking to make sure that the live webinar is accomplishing the goal, which is increased sales. And if that's not happening, then we need to continue to adapt the webinar to make sure that that's what's occurring. Because I can always do a much more detailed webinar for distributors from an education standpoint and make that just a standalone online video that you can watch. We don't need to do live presentations every Wednesday, every first and third Wednesdays or Tuesdays of every month. That is to get you clients. Anything else? Go ahead.
I just think that's a great idea. I really like that.
All right.
Thanks for a great call.
You're welcome. And everyone, remember what this weekend's all about. It's Easter weekend. So enjoy it. And just remember, when we get to heaven, we won't have to worry about what our microbiome looks like. We'll have energy for eternity.
So true.
Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed weekend.